Guys, deluded. Now, when you look at, was it Valencia versus Chelsea that Unai Emery was in charge, or was it another game? Anyways, I was watching a draw between Valencia and Chelsea. I could be wrong, but it was Unai Emery's side, and I was impressed with how they set up in midfield, and it got me thinking. Like, I am excited in regards to how our midfielders are going to get to play under Unai Emery, because he's very peculiar with how he sets up his midfield. They're all in charge of everything, but at the same time, they have roles. You might see some are stationed with picking up the ball from deep, two are positioned with giving the ball, receiving the ball at deep and protecting that space. Look at Ivan Benega, or the man in front of them is allowed freedom to roam. I'm keen to see how he gets, how based on that and how his Seville midfield was. I'm keen to see how, and even how he changed, slightly altered Rabiot's game. I'm keen to see what that means for the likes of Aaron Ramsey, who he could play deep line, but if he was to look at his strengths, it's the engine, box to box, trying to grab goals, being creative. Mesut Ozil, 10, right pass, right movement. Young Maitland-Niles, who we still trying to identify what sort of midfielder he is. We've got El Nene, who's moved up to number 4 shirt. Xhaka, who it will be keen of interest as well, because if you look at Unai Emery's tactics, he uses halfback. I mean, what have I constantly told you guys before? Xhaka could do that and be protected by runners. So by that logic, I'm keen to see what happens with Xhaka. In short, I'm keen to see how our midfield set up, because one thing is for sure, they will, regardless of if we improve in our league position or not, I am convinced, whether it's in a trio or a duo, our midfield will better understand, will move in better sync than previous years under Wenger, because Unai Emery prides himself on that. You need to know your role as much as everybody else's. So I'm keen to see the midfielders move together, or if they're in a free, move together, or if one presses, the other two are staying, or if one tries to close down the space because of a winger down the side putting in a cross, the other shuffle across. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, I was about to bring these, but these are dead examples. I should have used a tactics board for this one, but I'm keen to see what that means. I'm also thinking, people, like when you look at it on the base of things, yeah, when you look at it, in fact, let me save that for another vid. But I'm keen to see how we set up in midfield. In it, I'm keen to see the midfielders. I'm actually keen to see. I think it's Carcedo. I can't pronounce his name. His assistant manager. I've looked into his assistant manager, and I must say I like what I see with the assistant manager. He's got a fiery temper. He's a disciplinarian. At times it has worked against him. Allegedly, that was a cause of friction at PSG. He was disguised as having a lack of empathy, a bit overly harsh, a bit overzealous, and all of these things. True say there's a lot of Hollywood youths at PSG in that side. There's a lot of people that think they're Hollywood in that team, so maybe that's wide of the marks. We don't know, but that's what I like to see. I mean, he's the assistant coach. He's been with him at Almeria. He's been with him at Valencia. He's been with him everywhere, but PSG, he's been with him. He's a former player himself. He in training, allegedly he sets up and teaches the defensive principles, and Unai Emery does the attacking. Obviously, they both intertwine, and obviously Unai Emery is in charge of the whole thing. But you get what I'm saying? I like to see that versus now the previous years. It looked on the face of it that Wenger is doing everything with these players. I like to see delegation. And on top of that, what excites me about Carcedo, away from his passion and his energy and his thirst for warmth, and you would no doubt see him on the touchline getting quite animated. I like that, and I want to incorporate myself. He likes all sports, so you'll see elements of basketball in his play, elements of handball. Hell, there might even be elements of NFL, like I've said previously, in his defensive duties and positioning and things like that, and regaining the ball. If you look at basketball and the quick, I don't know nothing about basketball, but the quick turnovers and the quick how you have to get back and forth. If we incorporate that into defensive, into positional tactics, and if you look at Pep, how quickly they swarm the ball and get back into position. It sounds exciting, people, doesn't it? So I like to see that, man. Like, at the end of the day, allegedly he's also bringing in, as well as his assistant, he's obviously bringing in a goalkeeping coach, which we've had our problems with goalkeeping coaches of recent years, and a video analysis. Now we've got a good team of video analysis, with the most highlight being Ben Napier. So they'll be good if they bring their strengths and combined, and all of them things there. It could be quite good. Bold is allegedly going to be could still be kept on in a role, probably not as an assistant, but in the back as part of the coaching staff. And I must admit, if Unai Emery is delegating tasks, like he's delegating defensive tasks to Carcedo, for example. I hope I'm saying his name right. My spelling is poor. Bold, for me, it did look like he was crippled to a degree under Wenger, in that he was barred from doing a lot of things. If the shackles somewhat are freed and he is allowed a greater input, or to help greater with the defense, I mean, he knows these defenders. So if he can if he can help Caicedo with who is actually a good defender or who struggles with this or not, or just damn right bringing he was a decent defender in his days, part of the Arsenal team, and bringing what he knows and mixing it with what they know, and ultimately just trying to get us back to where we need to be as a football club. We cannot do that unless the back five, including the keeper, breed confidence to the rest of the side. You can't build a house backwards. And equally, the midfield and the strikers, they all have to know their jobs. They all have to press from the front. They have to know when to narrow space. They have to know several things like that, people. But on that note, I'm very excited about Caicedo. I must say, hopefully I've said his name correctly, and forgive me if I haven't, but the points still stand. Very excited about him, to be honest, because we know we need energy at this club. It's too lax. It's too... I don't want to say, because a lot of these things that I say and a lot of people say, why do the marks? These players do want to get better. These players do have intense training sessions, but it's not intense consistently. We need consistent motivation. We need, if this energy rubs off on the players, it could be a beautiful thing. But let's not set too many wild expectations. Unai Emery, for me, we finished 6th, so you've got to get us in the top 4. Immediately, you've got to at least get us competing for that top 4. If we were to come to May next year and we missed out on top 4, but on points we're better and we're playing better defensively and things like that, then I'll allow you. Because let's just say, because I can't think of a better example, let's just say we finish 5th next year, but we're a point off top 4. That's better than this year, and we're defending better, generally speaking. Our away form's improved, players are producing. Then I'll allow, man, innit? For me, immediately, it has to be top 4. He's got a 3-year period. I'm not expecting fireworks in the first year. I'm not expecting him to be able to change anything. It's a lot to do in that squad. What I'm expecting to see in the first year is a clear way or attempt to stamp his authority or his way of thinking or way of playing on the team. Improve defensively, improve that away form, constant galvanization. Players, I'm not calling for every bad performance to be dropped or every good performance to be praised, but keep it fair. Like, if you're underperforming for a number amount of time, you need to get dropped. Equally, if you're doing your thing, you deserve to keep your space in the side, which wasn't always the case necessarily towards Wenger's end of his career. So yeah, man, there's nothing more to be said on that front. Guys, deluded, get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest. I'm out.